walk what I'm calling a Dallas Cowboys corridor. As you can tell, we are at a Cowboys home game. Yes, I understand that we are in Los Angeles, Inglewood, technically SoFi Stadium, but this is basically AT&T West. So follow me this way. We're gonna see if we can find a couple of fans. We are infiltrating enemy territory. The Cowboy fans are doing it right. We got the signage, we got the great food, we got the inflatables. Thoughts on today's game?
We're gonna beat the shit out of them.
Woo! You see this right here? How do you feel about today's game?
We better win, that's all I know.
How do you feel about Dak Prescott after last week's performance?
Dak Prescott has been very consistent with the division. He has took us back-to-back 12-5 seasons. You know what I mean? His winning record is above. You can say what you want about the past 7 years, but on our division, he has been owning it for years.
Are you a Dak rider or are you a Dak hater?
Before he broke his finger, I was a rider. Now, nah. They need to let him go now.
You know Dak Prescott's watching this right now, right? Actually follows the Can Fan podcast.
Wait.
Go!
Let's go, baby! Cowboys Nation, son! Let's go! Cowboys Nation represents! Cowboys Nation represents! Let's go! Get out of here!
Crack 'em if you got 'em.
Crack 'em if you got 'em, son. All day, every day.
Crack 'em if you got 'em, Seattle.
Here we are at Lumen Field. And is that a Harry Potter reference? Maybe. I don't know. I've casted a lot of Lumen spells.
Lumen videos.
We want to see Deuce represent. We want to see him repeat. I want some repeats. And I don't need 3 beats if they repeat.
I don't need 3 beats.
I don't need
if
3
they
beats.
repeat.
If they repeat. Let's go.
You don't think we're gonna make the postseason?
Maybe wild card.
So this is
Maybe wild card.
This is where I'm like, I'm good for a good ribbing, but like to say we're not gonna make the postseason, now I can't even argue with you. Because you've oh god.
You know it too. You know it.
Who's your quarterback?
Fucking we got it.
This is our year.
Look at those dudes. Look at those dudes. Look at those dudes. Look at those dudes. Let's go!
Let's go, Cowboys! Let's go, baby! Cowboys Nation showing up!
Most pristine athletes in modern history playing in the NFL. Even the offensive linemen are incredibly athletic. I mean, these guys are over 300 pounds.
Ooh, crack 'em if you
Crack
got 'em,
'em if
son.
you got 'em, son. Finally, that bye week is almost over, guys. Hallelujah! The bye week is almost done because I feel like we just keep getting served up loss after loss after loss. But on today's show, I'm going to just hop right into it right now. We have a couple wins. Sure, he might be a San Francisco 49ers fan, but Nate Dogg's up in the hizzy.
Sup, sup, sup.
Nate Dogg,
Yo.
how you doing? The outsider himself.
I go by how my team's doing, so we're not doing very well today.
Hey, welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. And we had to balance out having a San Francisco 49ers fan on the show by bringing our guy Jtuck on the show. Tuck, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, my guys, man? Thanks for having me, man. I agree with them, man. Like, it's Cowboys 49ers, but this feels so, man, I think on both sides, right? You know, you don't even see the bickering back and forth. Everyone's like, I saw a bunch of 49ers like, y'all going to smoke us, and Cowboys fans like, nah, you guys going to smoke us. So I don't know what to expect on Sunday night, but and they could have flexed this game, but
I was just gonna say it's a Sunday nighter.
They're like, we're flexing it to the 1 p.m. EST game.
Yeah.
No one wants to watch this. Bandwagon boys, how the hell y'all over there? Crack him if you got him.
Good
Get him
idea,
in. You
good
can't.
Crack him
Double
if
crack.
you got him.
Spicy.
Overflow.
I
Yeah,
blew
you
my
gotta
wad
get it.
early. I cracked him early.
Well, how the hell are you guys doing?
Doing good. Thank you for asking, Anth.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
You know, we're midweek. We're going to be live in San Francisco in just a couple days.
Doesn't feel the same as it did when we booked the flights 4 months ago.
No, that excitement.
No,
Not saying
things have changed. Things have changed.
Yeah, we're going to watch a preseason game basically on the
basically.
weekend.
Yeah.
However, we're going to be paying like we're buying Super Bowl tickets for other teams
Yeah,
because of the
definitely.
price of a San Francisco Cowboys game. Yikes!
But all in all, guys, the bye week is done. The bye week always sucks. I know Cowboys have not had the success we've wanted them to have. Nate Dogg had to watch his team get beat by Patrick Mahomes the other day. But football's coming back for Cowboys fans. Like I enjoy watching football, but when it's not the Cowboys playing, it's just not as exciting for me. So I'm excited for the bye week to be over. And yes, the 3-3 Cowboys traveling down to play the 3-4 San Francisco 49ers doesn't seem as exciting as it once may have, but it's still a pivotal game. If the Niners drop down to 3-5 or the Cowboys drop down to 3-4, that's a big deal, man. So the game still has a lot of importance.
And
it does.
And Anth, I hate to disrupt that beautiful introduction, but I do just want to give Jtuck a big congrats here on this major announcement with X-Picks.
Which one's Jtuck in the pick?
Oh. Now you got me wondering. No,
wait. What?
no. But yeah, congrats, man. This was very cool to see, and
Thank you.
Do you want to just give a little backstory on that? Like, so you and Dez are buddies, and you've done some work with him before, but you just made this announcement, joining up with his X-Picks team. What's that all about?
Oh yeah, man. So salute to Dez, man. So funny story. I met Dez at the draft in Vegas. We were staying at the same hotel, and funny story, he's walking through the casino, and I saw him. And I was like, I'm not even going to bother him. Then one of my good buddies was like, man, you'll probably never get the chance maybe to meet him ever again in life. Just go say hey. And I was like, nah, I'm cool. He's like, are you sure? I'm just like, all right, man. So I went over to Dez, introduced myself, talked to him for a second, and the moment after he followed me. So we kind of had a relationship ever since then. Been with his High Point, and he had fantasy football communities. I've been kind of doing little different things there, promoting the tailgate from the video you see there and the photo you see right there. But we kind of split the relationship over time. And then yesterday he hit me. He was like, yo, bro, can I call you? And I was like, sure, man. So he calls me, and he's like, I got this big opportunity for you, and I really want you to be a part of my vision. So what I'm going to be a part of is X-Picks, man. It's a community for not only sports bettors, but just sports fans, bringing the community closer to athletes, right? And it's going to be a lot of content for sports betting, for cappers, content creators, just all, what we really do, but bringing the athletes to us. So he wants me to help build that. So I've been working aimlessly already. He called me yesterday, man. I've been up grinding nonstop yesterday and also today as well, kind of get all the platforms built out, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. So we have some big announcements, some big players coming on the channel. So it's just bringing the community closer to players ever before, man. So huge shout out to Dez, man.
That's sick, man. Dez is one of my all-time favorite Dallas Cowboys. So
mine too, man.
It's
Mine too, man. He's always been that lightning rod for me, man. One of my favorite players, like not just Cowboys players, but just overall favorite players. So it still kind of feels surreal, man. It's just like, we're really partners, man. But he really believes in not only what I do, but what we do as content creators. A lot of people kind of think of us as ugly ducklings or outsiders, but not Dez, man. He definitely rocks with us and watches our content and everything, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. So yeah, salute to Dez, man.
Word. That's mint, man. Congrats again. AJ, what the hell do we got going on today, my guy?
Well, like you were talking about it, we got a big week coming up. Dallas Cowboys heading to San Francisco to take on them 49 nerds.
Fuck you, Nate.
But there's
Fuck you.
The 9 nerds, but there's 11 of them.
That math never works out.
It doesn't work out, but you know what? The name fits better, I guess, at the end of the day. But yeah,
I never heard that one before. What I'm saying? I heard the whiners.
So just some backstory. I called them the Niners one time for being nerds, and Alex was like, "But there's 11 of them."
I kind of like the Niners, though.
Thanks, Tuck. Thank you.
Niners is good.
It's smooth, man. It's smooth.
I guess this might be kind of old news, but I'm interested just kind of getting a summary of the events from the bye week, and then we can move on because it does lead in a little bit to how the Cowboys prepared for this game. But with all the Jerry Jones fiasco over the last week. Of course, bye week. We knew it was going to happen, right? His comments that he made at 105, and then stemming from that, there was a couple series of other interviews that went on, and then it's like the next interview that they did with him was like no follow-up questions, just kind of.
Well, they tried to, and he just kind of didn't. He said he didn't want to talk about it, and then he said that they were lucky that he was there. That he was like,
yeah,
that they were that they should be happy.
And then continuing that into his most recent comments about the offense and, arguably taking a shot at Mike McCarthy or at least his coaching staff, and voicing that it could have just been a bad choice of words, but that's Jerry Jones. And then into Mike McCarthy's comment or rebuttal kind of to that, and how he's looking at changing up practices and whatnot. Just wondering, Jtuck, your thoughts on, and you don't have to pick anything specifically, I said, but just unwrapping that whole package these last week and a half here.
Yeah, man. Well, the one thing I'll say is
fire the GM, Jerry.
Man, it's just one thing after another. And, to top that off, the article that came out today about the tours going on to start Frisco. This is what I've been trying to explain so long to Cowboys Nation, right? It's hard to really digest, but the circus and distractions that our owner creates is just nonstop. Like, the players shouldn't have to answer questions about what your owner said on the radio at 105.3 The Fan, but it kind of showed like Jerry Jones's true colors to go into the radio station or an interview that you don't have to do. Like, this is your show. This is what you choose to do, and say, I'm not answering his questions when they were all fair questions, to threaten the guys at 105.3 Fans the job, and then double back around the next day and say, yeah, I meant it. I will get them out of here. Like, I wasn't playing about it. It's like, it shows kind of, his mindset and the real issues in Dallas, which I believe is the culture, man. So unfortunate events, but it's a dark shadow that's been lingering over this team all offseason. Mike McCarthy on a 1-year deal, Zim on a 1-year deal, contracts. Jerry says this, Jerry says that. It's just getting frustrated for Cowboys fans because we want production on the field, and we just haven't seen that besides the New York Giants and the Cleveland Browns for the most part.
Well, Nate, I want to ask you as an outsider. You're wearing your outsider shirt. You're a Niner fan.
Yep.
What are your as an out? You probably just think it's funny when you hear about Jerry Jones spouting off like you're a grandpa about crazy shit. But as an outside fan, as a rivalry fan, as someone that hates the Cowboys, what do you think about when you see the Jerry Jones headline pop up?
Well, first of all, I didn't know that Zimmer was only on a 1-year contract. That's fucking nuts.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's terrible. How I feel
the entire defensive staff's on a 1-year deal. Everybody except Al Harris.
Wow. How do I feel about it? I think it's time for Jerry Jones to kind of not do that type shit anymore. It totally distracts from what you want as your football team. You don't want your owner out there just as a loose cannon firing dudes on a radio show. That's just why does he even care?
Yeah.
Like, why don't you fix your fucking team?
Yeah. Yeah. Why is the biggest headline in the bye week about Jerry Jones talking to DJs at a radio station? That's crazy.
How much of a bully you are,
right?
For no fucking reason.
Yeah.
I think it even goes down to the point where, like, with even the most recent news today of DeAndre Hopkins going to the Chiefs, and a couple days prior, Jerry Jones was like, well, where are you going to go? Who are you going to go grab? Where are we going to go grab stuff to? Now that it's not offseason, it's like, well, all these other teams are starting to make moves now. Why are we just looking at the wall, Jerry? Like, and why are you even saying those things? If you're not going to make the moves, just don't open your mouth.
Well, me and Anth were talking earlier, like, why didn't he go and get Kareem Hunt?
Yeah, Kareem Hunt at the start. Kareem Hunt comes off looking like an all-pro running back, and he was just sitting there at the start of the year. Like, I just don't understand. Lots of guys. There's guys out there that you could have taken a run at or even traded for, and I know this has been a big topic of interest for Cowboys fans, but it's just such a misstep by the whole organization, and it's coming to the main center of everything because they're not winning football games.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And a lot of the holes that we wanted to address this offseason are bigger than we ever expected, right? We don't have a wide receiver team. We don't have a running game. Oh, you tossed out 2 rookies on our offensive line. Our offensive line is struggling. Oh, well, Marcus Lawrence goes down. Then Micah Parsons goes down. You don't have corners. Can you bring it? So it's like all the things we kind of talk about, it's just like it blew up in our face already. and they just don't have any plans to fix it. It's just we paid Dak, we paid CeeDee. Have at it, Cowboys Nation, which is frustrating for us.
Well, it's funny, Tuck, because we had you, and I shouldn't say funny, it's annoying. We had you on in, I think it was maybe March, leading up to the draft, we had you on.
Right.
And what did we talk about? We needed a wide receiver too. We needed a running back. We needed offensive linemen. We needed, depth out on the defensive line because we lost a bunch. All the stuff that we needed defensive tackles, all the stuff we're talking about right now, we've talked about this for the last 3 seasons. So it's like, it's not like it's like, just jumped out at everybody that's paying attention. This has been an ongoing problem now for multiple years, and it's the same ongoing problem. So it's just all you can do is laugh at this point, really.
And the frustrating part is think about where the run on running back really happened. It happened in the 4th round. Why didn't we have a 4th round pick? Oh, because we burned it for a 3rd string quarterback that's worth $5 million to hold a clipboard. Okay, way to go, GM. So once again.
You can't see our big. You can't see our big board here, but our big board on day 3 of the draft, CanFan big board. We have Jalen Wright, Bucky Irvin, Braylon Allen, Isaiah Davis, Cedric Gray. All of those guys on our big board.
Bucky Irvin's looking good.
Those were all of our big board guys on day 3. And every time we crossed it out, we're like a guy out. We're like, and every time it happened in the 4th round, oh, you bet your ass, we were cursing the Trey Lance trade.
Yep.
Yeah, and
you're welcome.
So now we have something to play for. I feel like we should just beat the 49ers ass. They hoodwinked us with this Trey Lance thing and took our 4th round picks. We didn't beat our 4th round pick about the 49ers, man.
Well, my biggest thing too is there are probably every NFL team has multiple holes, but when you are able to resolve one of them, it can make the other areas not as poor, right? So if we had a wide receiver 2 come in who was, no competition, definitely the wide receiver 2, that type of guy, that would make the running game better. Would it make it a yard and a half better? Probably not. But if it makes it a half yard better, that's a significant increase for what we've been dealing with, right? And that's a difference between, say, 3rd and long and 3rd and short in some scenarios. So I don't think it's like we need to go out and get all of these pieces, but we just need to see one of these pieces resolved. And then we can be like, okay, great. How much does that help? How much positive effect does that have? It might have enough positive effect that the defense can skirt by with a super solid defensive tackle, or the offense can make enough plays that they're going to stay in games if they just have that wide receiver 2 or running back, right? Now, of course, we didn't have the money to go out there and get Derrick Henry, who would have absolutely, well, Jerry doesn't think that he would have had that great of an effect on the Cowboys. But I mean, I argue differently. Just if he had half the stats he did in Baltimore, he'd be the best running back on the Cowboys right now by far.
That's something I don't understand is, what do you mean you don't have any money? You're the fucking Dallas Cowboys. If you want to win, go over the cap. The Rams did it.
Well, it's been proven that that's a lie, anyways.
Yeah.
They do have money, and they do have ways that they could have signed players.
It's crazy.
And it's like like the Cowboys forget that it's 2024, not 1990. Or people can find out this information quite easily. There's a lot of resources and there's a lot of people that are very good at finding this information. And you can Google it right now. Do the Cowboys have enough money to sign players? And they do. So,
of course.
But
there's so many Cowboys fans that still eat that up. They still believe it. Like we didn't have any money, right? And it's like, bro, you not know how restructures work?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I was just gonna say, you don't have enough money, but then you go and sign your 2 offensive players at the end of training camp to big money. Same as the 49ers. 2 holdouts, 2 at least Dak was playing.
The funny thing is, by signing the players, it actually benefits you. Like if they would have done it sooner, it actually would have benefited them. If they would have signed CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott, say in April, or before free agency, they would have had a chance to then go get a Derrick Henry or go get a Saquon Barkley. Battle for some of these other better players. So it's just this weird song and dance.
Yeah, and also if you show that you're really going all in, players are going to take friendlier deals. Like if you go to Dak, like, listen, bro, I know you want to be the highest paid quarterback, but we're going to try to go get you DeAndre Hopkins and Derrick Henry and really go win a championship. He might say, okay, it's like so people want to say, well, Pat Mahomes took less money. Well, look what Pat Mahomes gets for doing that. When Dak Prescott was on a 4th round rookie contract for all those years and got franchise tagged twice, he got me as his wide receiver. Like it's just, I don't know. I don't know. I give up. GM.
Yeah, and look, we could sit here and have a good time just rubbing Jerry Jones' name in the dirt, but the reality is we got a game here against the 49ers on Sunday.
Fuck you, Nate.
And so what can the Cowboys do, or what do you think they're going to be tweaking moving into this week at practice, and like how can they best prepare here for the 49ers? A weekend, maybe even a one-winged 49ers, right? Have you ever seen that type of bird? A one-winged 49ers? That's what they're kind of limping into this week, much like the Cowboys are.
Aren't they the ones that fly into planes?
Yeah, they are.
That's why they're not around it.
That's why they're not around anymore.
There's one left.
But I got an article here up with what tweaks is Mike McCarthy making to the Dallas Cowboys practice ahead of the game in San Francisco. This is by Nick Harris. I don't know if that's
Neckbeard.
That's Neckbeard.
Is that our boy, Neckbeard?
Yeah.
And I don't know why it's over here on Yahoo Sports, but so be it. So here's a funny thing, because I read this article previously, guys. Sorry, I know we don't usually do this, but
What? You pre-read something?
You pre-read something?
I
You
know,
came prepared?
I'm doing homework.
I know. But Dak Prescott says, we've got to practice harder. Simple as that. You can't turn it on Sundays. And then Mike McCarthy says in the next sentence, there's a difference between practicing hard and practicing well. They practice hard. We're not practicing well enough. So, like, without even getting into how they're going to fix it, to me, that was like, I mean, I expect maybe other guys to say different things, but I would expect Prescott and McCarthy to at least reiterate the same sentence. They said the opposite thing here. Yeah. Or at least Prescott said one thing and Mike McCarthy said that's stupid, basically.
Yeah, like you think Mike could have been like, yeah, they could practice a bit harder, but we got to also practice well, but instead he's like, no, they practice hard.
I think these are taken from two different interviews, so it's not like.
So do you think Nick Harris is doing a little Harris action?
He's trying to do that.
But
then the other thing here, just to a little bit of a longer explanation here from McCarthy. We're doing a little more group orientated work because we feel we need to improve the connection and understanding because of our inexperience and youth in some areas. So we feel like more group work as a whole moving forward. We want to do more work there. So basically moving away from more one-on-ones and into group work. Do you think that's something we're gonna see actually play out on the field? I mean, it sounds like a significant enough of a change, really, if it plays out. Whether or not it's better or worse, I mean.
Ooh, Lord. Well, to also echo what Mike McCarthy said today, he also said that they had 2 bad days of walkthroughs on Monday and Tuesday. So it's just like, where are we? We can't even have practice, right? We can't even, it's bad enough on Sunday. We can't even get Monday and Tuesday down. So I don't know, but if I'm Mike McCarthy, you're going to prove a deal. I don't want to hear about details and fundamentals in practice. Like we are way too deep in your tenure when it comes to this Cowboys team. So why are we having these issues? Well, maybe you are the problem because we're hearing practice and details and consistency and effort too many times this season, and that leans on coaching, to be honest with you. So you're going to need to figure out ASAP.
Yeah, another thing we need to just quickly shout out here is our super chat for our boy Arnie Diaz. This is a lot better news than Mike McCarthy's bullshit statement. Appreciate you, Arnie Diaz. I don't know what team he's saying it's generally the best opportunity to beat this team. He goes, no matter how we're doing right, I generally believe that this is your best opportunity to beat the team. So
to beat the Niners because they're hurt.
Yeah, no, I know. I was making a joke, but thanks for.
You have to realize whenever you make a joke, we're brothers. I don't get when you're making a joke. I think you're being serious. You're my older brother. I always think you're being serious.
Are you serious, Clark?
Are you serious right now? They're playing the Niners, dude.
And then our boy Travis O'Shea says, "How do you have 2 bad days of walkthroughs? It's cracking me up.
Yeah,
it's week 6 and 7,
and walkthroughs.
Yes, walkthroughs.
Walkthroughs, yeah.
That's alarming.
I'm sure we can go out there and have some good walkthroughs.
Right? You're walking.
It's not your first football walkthrough.
It's middle of October on a bye week, dude.
Yeah.
I think a good question just to like kick off the whole conversation with this kind of context here is like, what are your expectations for the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday? what kind of Cowboys team do we see? And if you guys want me to pull up anything like injuries or anything like that, I shall. I know it's Wednesday, a little early, but
Well, I'm for me, this is a big game. Like I said, the 3-3 Cowboys are playing the 3-4 Niners. Both teams need a big win. The Niners are coming off the loss. Both are coming off of big losses, but the Cowboys are coming off a bye week. This is their perfect time to get this Niners monkey off their back, man. This is their chance to beat this team. And if they lose, and I'm not a moral victory guy, but if they lose and it's a battle, I'm not going to be happy because they're playing a banged up Niners team. Like for me to be sold on this team, they're going to have to win in San Francisco. And if they don't, I think this is where my positivity is going to start going a little bit away. Tuck, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Like, if they come out there and we don't see any effort, they look lethargic again, it's just going to be like, well, I told people draft season starting Monday, winner, like, because I just feel like where we are right now, we are not anywhere close to getting one of these. So what's the point, right? Why delay the inevitable? But I just want to see some effort and some fight. Now, granted, I know the 49ers are hurt, but what I try and tell Cowboys fans, we're hurt too. Like, we're just as wounded as them. Like we both have preseason rosters out there. So it's going to be interesting to see how things happen. But I think from a mental aspect, if the San Francisco 49ers still come out there with Mason and Kittle and run the ball down our throat, and we still can't stop the run, and we still can't get the ground game going, and CeeDee and Dak are off track, I think it's going to be a mental blow for the organization. And I think somebody is going to have to take the blame for it. It might be Mike McCarthy. Even though Jerry said he's not going to fire him throughout the season, I think there's going to be big conversations. If we come out after the bye and we look the same way versus Detroit, and Detroit limped up and hurt San Francisco team, I think it's going to be the breaking point for this season, to be honest with you guys.
Do you think that Jerry will try to say, well, I see what the fans are saying. They want heads to roll, and they're talking about firing people from the organization, so I'm going to give them what they want and get rid of Mike McCarthy instead of firing his own self as a GM?
I'll ask you guys this. If we had Dan Quinn, I think Mike McCarthy would be probably on the cutting block. I just don't think that he has a guy that he thinks can be the actual head coach. Lord, please don't make it Zimmer. Right. So I think since he doesn't have that guy, I think that's why he's going to drag Mike McCarthy out. But overall, if this was last year and we were playing it bad, I think Mike McCarthy's leash will be a whole lot shorter, to be honest with y'all.
No, that's a good point. And I honestly thought after the Green Bay game, they were going to fire Mike McCarthy and make Dan Quinn the head coach. That was kind of what I thought was going to happen, and they didn't change anything. And then Mike stuck around, and no one really got chewed out for that loss. And it just kind of feels like an extension of that. The season kind of feels like an extension of that Green Bay Packers loss in my mind. But Nate
just
Dogg,
the fourth overtime from Green Bay. That's
for sure. It's a reoccurring nightmare. Nate, I want to ask you, my guy to the right of me, not donning the Niners gear, thankfully, but for you going into this game, like we have said, you're in the same exact situation as a fan, at least.
I was looking at the stats of Dak Prescott and Brock Purdy up there. Fucking terrible for guys. One guy making 60, one guy is supposedly making 60 next year.
He's going to be. He's going to be up there.
Terrible. That's fucking terrible. That's Bush League. That's Matt Hassel Bush League type stuff.
Yeah, so Dak Prescott, I'm looking at the touchdowns and interceptions. You got Dak Prescott, 8 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. And then Brock Purdy, 9 touchdowns, 7 interceptions.
Fucking brutal.
That isn't very good. That's looking like Jimmy G-esque numbers.
Oh, that hurt.
It looks like it, though. Like
even mentioning him.
Because we expect, I know as Cowboys fans, I expect more from Dak Prescott. I've defended Dak Prescott to a lot of people. And in my mind, and I'm going to kind of go to Tuck now, because Tuck, I was watching some of the all 22 of Dak's interceptions and his fumble in the red zone. And I made a video. I just made a video yesterday. I knew it was going to piss people off because I wanted
video, by the way.
I wanted the reaction video, right? So it's Dak Prescott fumbling the football. And I said it was on Dak Prescott in the red zone. I said the turnovers in the red zone have been on Dak Prescott. We can't expect our offensive line with 2 rookies and Terrence Steele to do their job that well. What I've noticed with Dak Prescott in the red zone is he will not take his eyes off of CeeDee Lamb. He just locks in on CeeDee Lamb. And he had time. They're showing this right now. Against the Steelers when he fumbled here, he had time. He didn't decide to throw the ball away, which has been an issue with Dak Prescott, and he didn't run. So I've been a big Dak fan, but in this video and a couple of the turnovers that I've seen, they have all been on Dak Prescott in my mind.
I won't say all of them, right? Because there has been some miscommunications, but I think that it really falls on Dak Prescott. He's been there long enough. He's been our leader. He's the conductor of this offense. And I think what's happening with Dak, right? It's a lot of different things. It's the lack of offensive line protection. We know that. Lack of separation when it comes to our wide receiver core. It's just a bad mix. Lack of run game. So there's what I've been trying to explain to Cowboys Nation. There's no threat outside of CeeDee Lamb. And we'll probably talk about it here in a second, which was one of my fixes. But if you're a defensive coordinator, who do you need to be concerned about? You're going to need to be concerned about CeeDee Lamb. So that's why a Brian Branch last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever that game was, can say, you know what? I know I'm supposed to cover in the flat, but you know what? Screw it. It's just Jalen Tolbert. Who cares? I'm going to go up top and abandon my assignment to go over top and get CeeDee Lamb and get the interception. So it's just a bad mix. It's lack of protection up front. It's lack of threats. It's lack of scheme, lack of separation, lack of trust. Dak Prescott's getting sped up and he's happy feet and he's staring down his reads. The offense is bad, y'all. And I think that's my biggest concern this year is that defense, I understand, right? We're hurt all over the place, Coach Zimmer, but I did not expect the offense to fall off a cliff this drastically this year, even with the absence of Tyron Smith and just Tony Pollard. And it's going to be a lot of work that needs to come to kind of get this thing fixed. It's going to start with number 4, Dak Prescott.
Yeah, I don't know what they can really do on offense. It feels like they've tried everything except for, of course, Dalvin.
Scoring touchdowns.
You're right. Yeah, you tried that. Yeah.
You know, I go back and forth in my head with his red zone turnovers, and I think the passes were the one to see. Was there 2 to CeeDee Lamb in a row, 2 games in a row?
So, yeah, both.
Kind of.
And he just stared at CeeDee the whole time. Didn't look
like bad passes.
Didn't look away. And sure, there might have been miscommunication. And sure, Brian Branch made an amazing play, but Dak stares at CeeDee Lamb from the time he snaps the ball. If he just looks at Jalen Tolbert in the flat, Brian Branch has to stay at Jalen Tolbert. And that's any quarterback that's this far into his career, and Dak does it. Dak has done it.
Yeah.
Is either extending the ball in a situation or he's looking off the guy that's playing in the backside. If he looks at Jalen Tolbert, CeeDee Lamb's easy touchdown. But he just hut the ball, and you can watch him. You just look at Dak, and all he's doing is huts the ball and stares at CeeDee Lamb. Brian Branch is like, okay, all he's doing is watching. He's in the flat, but he's playing kind of deep in the flat, and all he's doing is watching Dak Prescott's eyes. Oh, this motherfucker's throwing to CeeDee Lamb. Well, screw Jalen Tolbert.
And that's what I wonder is Dak feeling that, like Barry Grant Jr. talks about it all the time, about Dak having to play hero ball. And I wonder if he gets in that mode where it's like, well, I don't have any option. We need to score. And he's just like, you know, living on a prayer. I mean,
that's 1,000%. And I think he's forcing a lot of things because he feels the pressure. Like if we don't get 7, our defense can't get a stop. Right. So it's like, you know, I just think that he's pressing. And I agree. Right. Even with the Jalen Tolbert play, you know, granted, Jalen Tolbert was short of the stick, so it was 3rd down on that play. So would he have made it? I don't know. But it would probably have been like 4th and 1 if Branch would have came down and make a tackle. But it's just like, you know that the number one thing, just protect the ball. Like you have to protect the ball. Now I know that the play was set up perfectly. CeeDee Lamb had the leverage, but it's just too many miscommunications at inopportune times, whether it's the interception, whether it's the fumble, whether it's a holding call. It's just all these little details are leading up to why the Dallas Cowboys offense is struggling, and the Cowboys have to fix it immediately this Sunday, or it's going to be bad. It's going to be real bad, to be honest with y'all.
Guys, should we get? we're kind of doing it, but should we get into the showdown?
With Nate Dogg?
Yes.
Hang on.
Because I kind of felt like we were doing it a little bit.
You didn't let Alex get prepared to run the soundbite.
You see how excited he got?
Yeah, I know. So week to week, when we're playing a team, and we've only done it barely
once.
The
shootout.
Dude, I sat here for 30 seconds. I was like, it's not called the shootout. It's called the showdown, right? In my brain, I was having this internal battle. So sorry, the shootout.
Our plan on a week-to-week basis.
No bullets to shoot out, man.
Yeah, we're all in empty guns, man.
Right.
Yeah. Empty set formation here, right?
But so we've done it. So our plan.
My gun's injured.
Yeah, your gun's injured. We plan on doing this every time we have an opposing teams fan on the show. We did it. We've done it one time with Bryson Carver from Carving It Up Podcast. But I thought this would be a great time when there's 4 of us and 1 of you, Nate. So
yeah, fuck you, Nate. Fuck your 49ers.
Those are the odds I like, pal.
All right.
Okay, 1 sec. Let me get this in. Crack it if you got him.
Here, let me get mine in too.
Get him in, you son.
Crack him.
And see, Jtuck, you see the way I crack it to make sure that our sponsors see us cracking it, right?
All that stuff, man.
And
Drip is fucking delish.
Yeah, only available in Canada right now, unfortunately, but it's fire. Okay, AJ, go ahead.
We'll send you a case.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know him, you love him, you probably hate him too. Nate Dogg, one half of the Outsiders.
Skin that smoke wagon and see what happens.
Welcome to the shootout.
Welcome to the
featuring
shootout.
Nate Dogg and Jtuck, and we're gonna predominantly let it be you guys because we got 2 guests. We got 1 a Cowboys fan, 1 a Niner. So we just want to kind of, what do the Cowboys, if you guys were battling each other right now in a shootout, what are you going to do to come out victorious against the other guy?
Oh,
I'll let the guests go first.
Yeah, let the fucking opposing team go first, Nate. Step up.
How would I coach the team?
Just whatever you want, baby.
Whatever I would, well, okay.
Well, what comes to, when you think 49ers playing the Cowboys Sunday, what comes to mind when you think this is how we're going to beat them? This is what this is in your mind, what you're visioning 49ers holding that, which I don't want to see myself, but holding that pigskin in a victory formation at the end of the game.
Your life's on the line here, Nate. You need that dub,
Okay. Well, number 1, the 49ers special teams, you guys have an advantage on special teams. You have a fucking kicker who can make kicks.
Yeah.
You have a punter who can punt it more than 38 yards. You have players.
Nate, you're missing the point of this.
Who can stop.
My argument.
Here's the thing. We have running backs that can run the ball.
Okay.
Looking at Jordan Mason's stats right now, 667 yards, and that's week 7.
Yeah, he's top. This
top
is
an undrafted motherfucker right
Yeah,
here.
Jason Mason. We love Jason
Jason
Mason.
Jason Mason.
Love him. For the 49ers, they need to run the ball and get into play action and hope that the fucking Dallas Cowboys don't play man defense because 49ers can't beat man defense. And I need the 49ers to start making tackles. I need to tackle you motherfucking Cowboy fans. And the players. And
Fans first.
I do
players.
not want to take a Fred Warner tackle. Sorry.
No.
Would I do it for the clout? Yeah, I do it for the clout. Do I want to, though? No.
But Fred Warner missed tackle. It's 50-50 right now.
So, Nate, you think if the Jason Mason, a.k.a. Jordan Mason, gets out there, how many touches are you giving him for him to beat the Cowboys to take over this game?
Honestly, to me, and I've said it to people watching games with me, is Jtuck is the key to the 49ers offense right now, and they're not focusing in on him, and it's sad. So I think Jtuck is the key. So I think getting him involved, either running the ball or getting him out, check downs, like start moving the ball. Brock Purdy's got to start scoring in the red zone, giving it to his receivers. So I think for me, game planning, I think you just got to run the ball down your guys' fucking throats.
Run more, run more.
And hope it doesn't get into a special teams battle.
Oh, that's the only the Cowboys are hoping for that. Jtuck, if you were trying to stop, I'm going to kind of play a little bit here, into Nate's.
Were you the sheriff of the shootout?
Wider.
How do you think the Cowboys can stop Jordan Mason and the 49ers rushing attack?
No. The only way I can think it can be possible is if there's rumors that Deron Bland could return, right? So just like you said, if we can able to play a little bit man on the backside versus the wide receivers. Now I know that Ayuk and probably Debo's not going to play, but I'm extremely high. I mean, he was on my draft pet cat list on Jacob Counting. I think the kid's going to be phenomenal. So don't sleep on this kid. And they also have Kittle out there as well. So I think they have some wide receivers still, but I would try to play the San Francisco 49ers man, and I would try to load the box and just come down heavy, make sure that the outsides are sealed. Because, I know a lot of people talk about, you got to get some pressure on Purdy. Well, even with Micah Parsons, even with DeMarcus Lawrence, we really don't get pressure on Purdy because Purdy gets the ball out quick. So I don't think you're going to get pressure. So my number one thing is I would say make him have to be a quarterback, sit back there in the pocket, and maybe you can get sacks off of the coverage.
Get those
sacks.
hands up.
Yeah, get coverage sacks because just getting to him, he's going to get the ball out too quick.
Yep.
So you have to stop the run. But if they're able to establish the run, they're going to work with call their jab, and they're going to get George Kittle and then those 49ers fans. Have you guys been to San Francisco before?
I've been to not a game. I've been to the city itself, but I've never.
You're gonna have PTSD because this was gonna happen, right? George Kittle's gonna get a first down and gonna hit this glass break, and it's gonna be the stone cold dun.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's another 49ers first down.
Yeah.
No.
Ooh, like you're gonna hear that
every
all,
first down
They use Stone Cold
for Kittle. Yep.
Yeah.
That is trash.
Oh man, it, like I remember the playoff game. It was like Monday Night Raw. How many times that damn thing was going off?
Yep.
So yeah, man. So you have to stop George Kittle, but also like you said, with Kyle Juszczyk and the running back in Mason. Like so, I would say the Cowboys defense got to grow up here, man. You can scheme it up. Zim can come up with the double A gap mug and do all these X and O's. How bad do you want to win this game? Are you tired of teams just lining up and punching down the mouth and running the ball down your throat? Are you going to sit there and take it? Or are you going to do something about it? I think that's defensively the thing that the Cowboys want to make a decision on Sunday night.
This battle in the trenches.
Yep.
Trenches.
Old fashioned 49er
we ain't got
game.
trenches though. That's the problem.
Well, that's the problem. that is the problem. I'm worried that like you brought up George Kittle, and I just think of George Kittle as the Cowboy killer, really. And to know that I'm going to have to hear Stone Cold, one of my all-time childhood heroes.
Yep.
Nonstop,
his intro in vain.
Yep.
Jtuck, I'm glad you told me so that I don't have to have a breakdown while I'm there watching. But I hate it.
Side quest here, Jtuck. One of the things that we're gonna do when we go out to and I can say this because there's outside of Nate Dogg, there's not a lot of Nine Nerd fans that listen to our podcast or our show or tune in. But whenever Jordan Mason does anything, we're gonna be like, that Jason Mason is a great. We're gonna start.
Just call him Jason Mason.
Now I will say this, right? Because there's supposed to be a rivalry. One of the most fun games I ever attended on the road was in San Francisco.
Okay,
man.
hey, good.
Fans treated me great, man. Like surprisingly, it was weird. Like a bunch of 49ers fans recognized me off of TikTok, and I was like, I'm really posted. Like,
of course,
because I was like, what the hell did I say on TikTok?
Did they call you Tick-Tuck?
No, they did, man. They're like, hey, you that guy on TikTok. I was like, what the hell did I do on TikTok? But they invited me to their tailgate. They had like these oysters with like hot sauce. Like, it's just a completely different atmosphere, man. You're gonna see those bang bang Niner gang flags everywhere. Too short bumping all damn day. Like,
I don't mind too short.
I can do that.
It's just a vibe out there, man. So, salute to 49ers fans. I had a great time, man. Like,
we're excited. We are excited.
Hey, there's a 49ers fan that was pestering me. And a 49ers fan was like, bro, chill. He's minding his business. And then those two end up getting into a fight because the guy was, like,
yeah.
So 49ers, was like, okay, bro. So, yeah, salute to San Francisco. But I'm not attending out there because I already know.
We're nice to Cowboy fans, but we shoot our own players. So it's, we don't know what we're doing.
I mean, yeah, but most Cowboys fans don't have Rolexes on, though.
That's true. And actually, now bringing him up, Purcell could be a little secret.
Exactly.
This could be his game.
Yeah, because he's got his feet wet now. Last week,
he's in a prominent role now because there's no Ayuk.
Yeah, Ayuk done for season.
And Jennings maybe not either. And I love Jennings.
So what are your thoughts? What about Debo also? Debo's got had pneumonia.
Yeah, he may not.
Was it pneumonia that he had?
Yeah, pneumonia. Yeah,
fluid in the lungs, man. Yeah. That's not something to just bounce back off of in 1 week, or at least not bounce back and have your lung capacity what it usually is.
That's right.
Yeah, and it's really rough right now to look at the injury report because it's Wednesday, so there's a lot of guys who are just off because of that.
So you get Lawrence back?
No, Lawrence won't be back. Marcus Lawrence won't be back.
I didn't see him up there.
He's on IR.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah.
So he's out 4 weeks at least. So 2 more weeks.
Here we go. Here's
One more week for him?
the Cowboys injury report is just right here. And now I'm going to bring up the San Fran one.
Yeah, so you won't see DeMarcus Lawrence on there. They won't have any of the IR guys on
here.
Yeah,
no IR guys. Yeah.
They have Deron Bland on here, but I think it's because we have he's back off IR, isn't he?
Today.
Yeah,
but no Micah Parsons?
No, Micah did not practice today, but there's a hope,
Well, there's
which
a
possibility, but
Okay.
I'm not too
Right.
sure.
I mean, a 60%, Mike. I mean, I guess it's better than nothing, but still, like,
Motherfucker's on jury duty.
Oh yeah,
Brandon
Awesome.
Aubrey.
That's fucking
Yeah.
awesome.
yeah.
And I'll be.
Never
They
seen
put
that
Brandon-
before.
They put Brandon Aubrey on jury duty. It's supposed to be like a 12-day trial. So
Oh,
there's a
shit.
possibility.
Well, but the weird thing about it is if you go like so, this
How
is
does
what.
he not get out of jury duty?
Okay, so this is the guy get out of jury duty.
He
If
just
you,
wants to stay in the hotel
if
at
you
Pauly
can,
Shore.
if you can prove,
Great movie.
if you can prove that you are literally the most valuable to your job, nobody else can do your job but you.
Yeah.
The Cowboys literally can't score points without
Yeah.
Brandon Aubrey. How is
look,
he at jury duty right now?
Adam, unlike my mistake that I made when I was calling Brandon Aubrey a dirty European, this man is a true American. He takes his civil service and he wears it on his chest and he says, you know what? If I have jury duty and I'm a civilian and I'm called to action, I will go in there and I will do my job. And that's what we have learned to expect from Brandon Aubrey.
Well,
Brandon Aubrey.
Jenkins Gaming in the chat saying Aubrey's good because jury duties. There's nothing on Sundays for it, but I don't know if it depending on the type of trial he might be locked in that.
I think it's like a murder or something like that.
Yeah, so that he might not be able to leave.
Brandon Aubrey on Sunday, he just keeps looking at the camera like, I think I put an innocent man in jail.
Guilty. He's guilty. I gotta go.
He is a huge true crime fan too, so you know he's not missing it.
And
I bet
before
he's wearing his jersey too.
I'm Brandon.
Well,
Aubrey.
He's on Aubrey.
I'm rocking my Aubrey jersey on
There
Sunday,
you go.
regardless. In solidarity to him because he is a true American hero for going into jury duty, but also because he's probably going to be our main point scorer on Sunday. Unfortunately,
Nate, could you give us just a quick breakdown on any of these?
yeah. Who these fucking
these
slugs
guys are? Well, obviously
are.
we know. Sam, we know the names, but like anyone on here who is expected to play that did not practice.
Nothing cool like jury duty on your guys'.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of groin stuff here.
A lot of groin stuff.
Look.
Why are all their groins sore?
Well, their pussies have been hurt the last couple of weeks. It's fucking brutal.
So Nate, give us a
And
breakdown.
everyone in their division is winning, and same in your division.
Yep.
Except for you have the Giants. So
We have the
you're
Giants.
lucky.
We're lucky.
Yeah.
How about this Juan? I can never say his name. Jennings.
Juwan Jennings.
Juwan Jennings.
How I feel about him? He's the most important player.
Third down Jennings.
He's third down.
Is he gonna play? Do you think?
He didn't play last week, so I don't know.
I just picked him up off of waivers in a
I mean,
fantasy league.
I hope so because Debo is probably not playing, and obviously we know Ayuk's not playing. And who else do you have? You have Kittle and you have Purcell, I guess, and Cowings, who I agree with. Tuck is he had a great deep ball there on Sunday.
I'll say this: your guys is like your injury report. There's some big names on there, man.
All of them.
I mean, Trent Williams, he's just a resting player, so you can't really take much in that. But you got,
He should be a suspended player.
yeah, man, yeah, he was. I think he should have just power bombed the dude.
He
That
could have
pushed
should have
him.
fucked that motherfucker up.
He should have just He should have power bombed him. Never punch. You punch, you're gone.
Well,
but if you just pick him up and power bomb him, you probably wouldn't have got kicked out.
But the thing is that he could also hold off and appeal it, and then you go into the break, and then what do you lose him after that? Well, who gives a fuck? At least he's there for the next game, right?
Yeah, because you guys have your bye week after this week.
Yeah, the 49ers are taking on two teams consecutive weeks off a bye. That's fucked up.
No, it's fair.
That's totally fair, Nate.
That's fucked up.
So any of these guys, I don't know who George Odom is. Is he anything special? Kevin Givens, don't know
Special
much
teams
about
guy.
him. They're just special teams guy, depth pieces.
Yeah.
Chris Conley, not much. These kind of same shit.
It does kind of read, this injury chart does kind of read like a depth chart for the 49ers a little bit.
Yep.
A lot of injured players between both teams, though.
Our kicker likes to try to make tackles for some fucking reason.
Jake Moody had a good mustache in college.
Well, one thing I will say though, and you guys attested to it earlier about Ricky Purcell, I did do a sneaky move and I picked him up on a couple of my fantasy football teams.
Mm-hmm.
So with Brandon Ayuk out, that he could possibly be the target. I'm not sure if I'm going to start him. If I start him, it means actually I should start him. It means my fantasy team's going to slumber because he actually won't score any points. And if I don't start him, it means he's going to go off on Sunday. So
You have such bad luck with your fantasy teams. If you start him, he'll get shot during the game.
yeah, so I will start him, but Speaking of fantasy football, we're going to take a 2-minute break here, and we're going to hear from our sponsor. I know, Tuck, you know about Underdog Fantasy.
Yes.
Go ahead and use the promo code CANFAN. We'll be right back, y'all.
We are back to the greatest time of year again. It is the NFL football season, and it's here to stay until February.
Yes. Over 1 million fans across 33 states got in the game last year by making picks on Underdog.
And you can win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on your favorite player stats. Examples could be touchdown, passing yards, and more.
Woo! Dak Prescott being that new, freshly signed, highest paid quarterback for the NFL and the Dallas Cowboys, I got to take him for the higher on passing yards.
Absolutely. And look, when I'm looking at our Cowboys here, you know I'm going to be taking that CeeDee Lamb multiplier because the boy is just here to play and he's here to stay. Get used to it.
And myself, I'm going to be looking at you two to help fashion my Underdog picks for the week.
Take the higher.
Take the lower.
I want the higher.
Take what you want, but you gotta play Underdog Fantasy.
Making picks on Underdog is straightforward, and signing up is even easier. You just have to head over to Underdog's simple-to-use mobile app or underdogfantasy.com. Sign up with promo code CANFAN, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use your first cash pick'em entry plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code CANFAN to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. You must be 18 years or older, 19 plus in Alabama or New England, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-GAMBLER. Or visit www.ncpgambling.org. For Arizona, it's 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
Text NEXT STEP to 53342. New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-8778-HOPE-NY. Or text HOPE-NY to 467-369.
Anyways, appreciate y'all. This is Underdog Fantasy Sports.com. Woo! And that's Underdog.
Are we back on
yeah,
audio?
We are back, baby. We are back. We are so back,
baby.
Well, look, there was a good conversation on the break because we keep the audio rolling here. And Jtuck, you were talking about a disconnect between. Well, sorry, Nate brought up a disconnect here between Dak and CeeDee. Or who did it?
I
Was
did.
it you? Adam did.
That's
I had one other guy.
See me. You
I had one other guy to go through. I had one other guy.
I was like, oh, I don't think that's who brought it up.
I wish you would have said I did it because I was in the bathroom.
I was gonna say the only guy I didn't mention outside of Adam was the guy who wasn't in the room. So, and myself. But yeah, I think it's an interesting question, and well, since I fucked that up so badly, Adam, do you want to maybe ask it again? Then we're gonna go into these storylines. But I thought that's a good prelude. Every story needs a prelude.
Yeah,
and I figure that's a good one.
Well, I was just asking Tuck because
by the way.
Crack him if you got him, son.
Nice.
Crack me if you got him.
Yeah, go ahead. Show those ingredients on that can there, Ant.
Hey, drip, vodka, hard seltzer, baby.
Tuck's like, man, the last time I was on your guys' show, you guys had no sponsors, and now you guys are just a bunch of sell-out. We're like the Wayne's World things where we're like,
Pepsi.
Man.
Nice.
Hey, to all the sponsors out there, man. I have them too,
Best
man.
fucking scene in a movie is that Wayne's
So
World
good.
shit. That is fucking amazing.
But I mean, if
crack him if you got him.
crack him if you got
Get
him.
him
You guys
Yeah.
need to send me some, man. 'Cause I got.
Oh, drip him if you rip him with that water. I was asking Tuck because he watches a lot of game film, and I really enjoyed his CeeDee Lamb breakdown in terms of Troy, in response to Troy Aikman saying that the Cowboys offense receivers are lazy on their routes, and I mean, obviously outside of the comments being like, yeah, well, you should maybe focus on some of the routes that he's not running, and Jay Tuck's like, have you not watched the entire video? Like, watch the whole video before you start commenting on these things. And I just said, in terms of the amount of film that you watch, like, do you actually think there's a problem between Dak and CeeDee? Do you think it's a problem with CeeDee Lamb? Like, what's your take on that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, people never watch the full video because I did like 8 clips of him not getting the ball at the end, right? But yeah, I just think that when it comes to Dak and CeeDee's a few things, right? You're still seeing the miscommunications, which we spoke about earlier, that led to some of the interceptions. But I also think that teams are just preparing to take CeeDee Lamb away. I just don't think outside of CeeDee Lamb we have a real threat. So like I said, tomorrow I'll probably make a film breakdown on how we need to get Jake Ferguson involved a lot more, because it helps two problems. One, it helps the middle of the field, which I think is Dak's favorite area to attack because he had Dalton Schultz, those type of areas like so tapping, between the hashes. But then also it can free up CeeDee Lamb to do a lot of different things. And I just think when it comes to CeeDee Lamb, like defensive coordinators know, I'm going to take that away from you and let's see what else you can do. And the Cowboys haven't shown that, okay, if I take CeeDee Lamb away, well, they have a running game that can go crazy for 120 or 115. Hell, even 60 seems like a stretch these days. So we don't have that Tony Pollard threat. And so, you think about Jalen Tolbert and Jalen Brooks, I'm like, I get what Troy was saying that, hey, these guys run lazy routes, but these are late round draft picks. Like these aren't, Jalen Brooks and Jalen Tolbert kind of like in their first year. So it looks lazy to you because that's probably they're probably going at max speed and max capacity. So, I just think that it's a lot of different things, man, when it comes to CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott, but they really have to get in sync. But it can't just be the 40-88 show. That's not going to be good enough to get us where we need to go. It's going to need to be one or at least two more players offensively. It's going to need to step up to really help take on the void. Because if not, CeeDee Lamb might have 50 yards in the first quarter. You might not see him again to the fourth. So.
Yeah, no, that's a great call, and I watched your video too, and like Ad brought up a lot of. I mean, it's the internet, right? Like people can't make it through. They'll see.
They couldn't make it through my ad read, man. That's why everyone's tapped out.
Yeah, well, they see what you're saying bad about someone they like, and they can't even make it to the end of the video because they just have to comment, well, that you didn't do something that they wanted to see to prove it wrong. That's all it is.
Right.
Funny thing here, Jtuck, and you did a reel that was completely satirical,
fake, after
completely satirical, and
super easily tellable.
And if you listen, I can't remember exactly which one.
It was after the Cleveland Browns game, and Dak had one bad throw.
Oh, right.
And I was like, Dak Prescott, this is why we shouldn't have signed him. He can't even throw a ball 10 yards. And I'm like, being very, very satire, right? And the comments. Man, they won, and like people just going off. It's like at the very end, I said I'm kidding. Like at the very end, this is a 60-second clip. People can even make it 60 seconds before they hear I'm just kidding, right? I'm joking.
And people hear what they want to hear.
Yeah, and then they pitchforks, man.
Jump out the window.
Yeah,
man,
it's hilarious.
Which is crazy, but it's just part of the business.
Hey, it's rabid fans. That's what we like, though, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You didn't show the video when he's not getting the ball. Like there's like literally 9 clips. Like they wanted like a 2-hour video. Like there's he had like 40 something like total like pass reps. Like you guys want to watch all of those when he's not getting the ball? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I just want you to prove your point, Jtuck. That's all. Okay.
I guess you aren't dedicated to your craft, Tuck.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Well, we love bloggingtheboys.com. Always a nice resource just to kind of get a feeler of what's going on week to week with the Cowboys on top of all that great content out there, specifically on YouTube. I'm a YouTube premium man. Okay. I pay for a premium subscription. But here's an article here by Dan Rogers, great pirate name. 10 thoughts on what to expect from the Cowboys coming out of their bye week. And for Nate, you might be more familiar, but Jtuck, just to bring you up to speed, what we typically do on these is we read the headlines. Sometimes we read a little bit about what they have to say.
No, we've been doing on the 10 storylines. We've read.
We started to read. Okay.
Yeah, we've been reading.
The point being is sometimes we will just spout off from the headline and kind of take out our own. So we do give props to the article, but
Danny Phantom 24 on X.
We might not always take their words. Might just start talking about our own thoughts here. But point number 1 here, the Lion returns. This is obviously talking about Micah Parsons. Cowboys have a 35% rush win rate, which ranked them 25th in the league entering this past weekend. The defense end group has been held together by Chauncey Goldstein, Carl Larson, and Tyrus Wheaton.
Did you, you went 3 for 3.
Carl Lawson, what did I say?
You said Larson. You said Larson.
Larson. We're getting there, guys. There's a lot of letters. There's a lot of letters on this page.
Reading is hard.
After losing Micah Parsons to Marcus Lawrence and Marshawn Nealon, Booth got through that. This group will slowly get some key players back. Hopefully, starting with Parsons this week. That's TBD. But getting the team's best pass rusher back would be a huge help to the defense. And real quick, I think, Jtuck, you kind of touched on that already. Like, if we're not going to get the pressure, then let's just run crack him if you got him. Let's run just a regular defensive line scheme and play maybe to try to take away those short, quick passes from
exactly
whatever his hell his name is.
And I'll preface with this, like with what we read here. If as we're reading, if you have anything to add to the paragraph that was read, jump in. This is a jump in.
Yeah, we don't give a fuck about Daniel Rogers and his article. If you want to cut him off,
cut him off.
Cut him off.
It's
son.
Pirate Dan Rogers to you.
Pirate
Royal Rumble.
Man. Hey, Dan is probably Stephen Jones's stepchild because
absolutely.
Dan loves that front office, man.
Okay.
Like
Well, guess what? Guess what, Pirate Dan Rogers? You ain't getting our credibility just yet.
But look at the three names that AJ butchered: Chauncey Golston, Carl Lawson, and Tyrus Wheat. Those are our defensive ends.
Right.
That's insane. That's wild. Like, no wonder this defense is shitty. And Tuck brought this up earlier in the show that we expect the defense to suck, or maybe not suck, but give up points. The offense has to be that savior and has to hold on and be in these games against these other teams. They have to score touchdowns, and there hasn't been any touchdowns scored by the offense. So, I mean, just by looking at the line returns, like, I think the Cowboys having a 35% pass rush win rate with those guys is a win. Like, those are 25th ranked guys.
Sure.
Those are no-namers. Go look at them. Nobody outside of Cowboys fans knows who the fuck those
maybe
three guys
Chauncey, because he has a cool name.
Chauncey, and I mean, he's been around for a while, but these guys are nobodies and wouldn't be even third stringers on a lot of teams in the NFL.
Yeah.
Alex Chauncey Johnson. Is that my middle name?
I
think it's Chauncey.
Truth be told, it's Earl, but I would take Chauncey. I think Chauncey and I think Chauncey and Earl are
interchangeable.
They're on equivalent.
Yeah.
On an equivalent level.
Absolutely.
I guess my biggest thing here too is, like, what's the chances of Micah Parsons playing? And then if he does play, are we expecting him to have the impact that he should?
Apparently he's going to be on a pitch count or something like that.
Yeah.
Right?
I personally, if he's still feeling banged up, I would say let's just not roll him. And not because I don't think that he can be effective, but I just don't. I want to see. I guess it really depends. Maybe the coaching's thinking like your point way back at the beginning of this podcast. And if McCarthy, if he loses this game, it's like, oh shit, okay, I guess I might as well start looking for a new home. But
look for a new job,
so maybe that would be a reason to play him. But otherwise, it's like, we're lucky to be 3-3 at this point. I wouldn't want to do something that would prolong the injury for Parsons. If it's that, if it's just going to be a nagging injury the whole year, then we got to deal with that as it happens week to week.
Yep.
Okay, and the second topic here, the cornerback group suddenly gets stronger. Both topics are to do with injuries. Sunday should mark the season debut of All-Pro cornerback Deron Bland. The team's leader in interceptions a year ago will finally work opposite Trevon Diggs to give the team a strong cornerback tandem. Rookie Kalen Carson should also return, meaning the CB depth will go from weak to strong, and players like Amani Orwari and Andrew Booth will be regulated to the bench. That's good news.
Great news.
That's great news because, again, you think of the defensive end no-namers that we were just talking about. The CBs were also like that for a little bit. Sans Trevon Diggs. So you can't tell me Deron Bland and Kalen Carson getting back into the lineup isn't going to be a huge boost. And there's a better chance that both those guys are actually going to be back, opposed to, I think, the Micah Parsons coming back is maybe 0 to 10% in that range probability.
Exactly.
Do you think because I read that Bland, that it wasn't looking good for Bland coming back this week. That was just a post online. There was nothing that I could verify that with, but I guess it's Wednesday. We'll find out more tomorrow if someone practices.
Jerry had said Micah and Bland are a game day decision.
Okay.
Right.
Because he wants those. Oh, I guess it doesn't really care.
You got to pick one. If you got to pick one.
Yeah, I guess. That's a good question.
I would say Bland would play before Micah will.
Who do you want to play? Who would you want to play? And not you, Nate. Shut your dirty Niner mouth.
Now keep in mind, Tuck, keep in mind, we do have Chauncey Golston, Carl Lawson, and Tyrus Wheat, okay?
Like I said, I would probably go with Bland because I feel like we're not going to get pressure on Purdy anyways. So, I would rather try to get the opportunity for an interception or a pick six that can change that. So, yeah, I would go with Bland over Micah.
I think Bland's a good decision, especially because Nate was saying to beat the Niners, play man coverage. And if you have Trevon Diggs and Deron Bland out there, I mean, that's give. And then Jordan Jordan Lewis in the slot. I mean, your cornerback game just took a huge step. So and now maybe these no-name defensive ends get some time to hit Brock Purdy. So I agree with Tuck with Deron Bland being the guy you want back.
Yeah.
Number 3 here is kind of the same.
Yeah, they're stretching for stories right now.
Let's just skip.
Health improves.
Health improves.
Yeah, we get it. Okay. But I think this one is
Pirate Rogers.
Our number 4 we have here the Zimmer learning curve. So before the Lions game, defense showed signs of improvement.
Pirate, man.
Yeah. Hey.
You got to do it now. You got to read it like a pirate.
Before the Lions game, the defense showed signs of improvement as they held the Giants and the Steelers to less than 20 points. Granted, neither of those offenses scars anyone.
Well done.
That was good. Hey, you held it for 2 sentences.
Yeah,
That's
still, the Cowboys' run defense showed a noticeable improvement as the defenders exhibited better discipline and weren't delivering their assignments. It's expected that it would take time for a new defensive coordinator, Mike Zimmer's plan to start working, as Coach Boone said. And we're not talking about Boone from Remember the Titans, but as Coach Boone said, it's like Novocaine. Give it time. Oh, actually, we are talking about
What
Coach
a
Boone.
weird. What a weird. It's like Novocaine. You just pop it in just inject it into your heart.
But you've never seen
never
seen Remember the Titans. So Coach Boone says it's like Novocaine. Give it time, it always works.
Okay. So he was.
So he was. So I fucked up on it because I didn't read.
I've never seen that movie either.
You guys have never seen Remember the Titans?
No, you
Gosh,
guys,
dude.
you guys don't do a podcast on it.
You're embarrassing.
I've seen one movie in my entire life, and it was Draft Day.
Yeah, come on, Nate Dogg. You watch a lot of movies, but
I do.
In any case,
not that one though.
My question to Tuck is: do you actually think the team is struggling under Zimmer's defensive schemes? Are like he looks like a clueless grandpa out there? Unfortunately, I don't like. I don't. We don't.
It's true.
It's true. I'm calling it facts.
But you mean like that's his look?
That's his look.
Okay.
So he might look like a clueless grandpa, but if our defense was lights out, then I wouldn't care. But when defense is struggling, and you look at Zimmer, and it's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, we thought offseason that Zimmer was going to come in and give accountability to this team. He was going to give discipline to this team, and the team was actually going to step up and do the things that maybe Dan Quinn was possibly shortchanging us on, and why we were looking for excuses with Dan Quinn as a DC, and we thought Mike Zimmer was gonna, help that. But it's week 7, and they're talking about still not knowing Mike Zimmer's schemes here. What's your thoughts on that, there, Tuck?
Yeah, this is what I tried to warn Cowboys Nation for. I know that Dan Quinn was the scapegoat all offseason, but I know a lot of people thought you're gonna get hell and brimstone under Zimmer, but when he mentioned, 1, he's under a 1-year deal. 2, that his good friend and Stephen Jones called and he wanted to do him a favor. It's like, are we getting the real Coach Zimmer, or are we getting the watered down version? I feel like we got the watered down version of Zim, and I feel like when it comes to Zim's scheme, it's different because he doesn't have the proper ingredients. His is more about IQ, being in the right spot, doing your job, versus Dan Quinn is just like using your God-given abilities to go out there and react. So you have a lot of guys who like to kind of just read and react, and it's not up here, like that's not how Dan Quinn has taught them. So it's like, I think Jerry Jones mentioned this. He was like, maybe we have the wrong type of players in house to match Zim's scheme. But like, if he's only going to be here for 1 year, you don't sell. Like, you just get someone who can match the players. So I think Zim is, it's a downgrade. Me personally, I felt it was a downgrade from Dan Quinn. A lot of people didn't want to hear that because he wanted to be optimistic in the offseason, but it just hasn't worked out. I think he's a good guy, but I just think he's just not the man for the job. And I think the Cowboys defense is suffering badly, even if they do get healthy.
I think Zimmer works better on, like, I think if you look at his history, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, because I know of how much studying you've done on Zimmer's career. But I remember looking back, and it seemed like always his first year was never a major improvement. He takes a year to kind of, first of all, get guys up to the speed or looking at the defense the way that he wants to, the guys that are going to stick around. And then the second year is where maybe he starts to put together the pieces that he knows that he's missing. So
that on a 1-year deal is...
I know. Right, no, but I'm just saying that makes sense.
If he was signed for 4 years.
Right. But coming on a 1-year deal as a friend, I'm saying that makes sense as to why he might have been like, you know what? I'll just take a fucking shit kick at the can here, see if we got it. But just from what I'm looking at, like, you know, you got to judge each year individually, but I wonder if it's just not really a fair representation of what Zimmer can do with a defense when he's given an extended period of time to like build his defense. Because he inherited this defense and it was like, okay, now you got to make it work. And if Zimmer and Dan Quinn had somewhat different philosophies with how they run their defense, then of course you've got a bunch of guys who were built for a Dan Quinn defense now trying to operate in a Zimmer defense. I don't know if those are great excuses, and I'm certainly not trying to make them, but just a thought that came to mind. And I'm really interested in this Novocaine thing.
So Zimmer is buddies with the.
Well, yeah.
We get drunk.
Well, he coached.
We go get hammered.
He coached in Dallas before.
Yeah.
Zimmer coached in Dallas before, so he's been in Dallas before. So
So he went like Dallas, Minnesota.
No, Dallas, Cincy.
Dallas, Cincy. Okay,
Minnesota, then off.
So I mean, before we go to the next one. So like, what is the move here then for like the Cowboys they haven't extended Mike McCarthy. They
Ride or die, baby. Ride or die.
Zimmer on a 1-year deal.
Rebuild. You never heard of it?
Well, to me it sounds like it sounds like they're about to go into a complete rebuild.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's 1,000% what it was, and we kind of saw it from the offseason. You have a bunch of substitute teachers because what happened was Dan Quinn didn't get the Seattle job, which he really wanted. He came back to Dallas, and I think that he really kind of blindsided them by saying, you know what, actually, I'm going to go to Washington. He went to Washington. They said, okay, well, fine. We're going to keep Joe Witt Jr. and make him the defensive coordinator. He said, no, I'm going with Dan Quinn too. So they started scrambling because all the good people were picked over defensive coordinator-wise, and said that was the biggest problem why Dan Quinn was out there interviewing. You should hit the ground running and interviewing too. But they sat back and it's like, you know what, we'll be fine. We'll get him back. And he dipped out and went to Washington. And it was like, well, Rex Ryan, Rob Ryan, Zimmer.
Yeah.
Who is dumb enough to come in here on a 1-year deal? It's kind of just patch things up a little bit. Let me call the old buddy of mine. I think he'll come in and Zim to the rescue.
I mean, it's irrelevant now, but we were all kind of hoping Al Harris. And I know he said he didn't want to do it per se, but I think a guy that doesn't want the job and who's an up-and-comer would have been better than a dude that's just doing a favor for Stephen Jones.
This might just be the Robert Saleh Bowl. Like, whoever wins this game gets Robert Saleh as their defensive coordinator next year.
Well, Robert Saleh was out at Green Bay, but hey,
because he's fucking good. I don't.
Oh yeah,
fuck
of course
the Jets.
Well, you can.
Robert Saleh's a good fucking.
You can
coach.
be a great you can be a great coordinator and have it not pan out
exactly
the first time you become a head
absolutely.
coach.
Especially with the Jets, because nothing
Especially
works
with the
out
Jets.
there. Fuck those guys.
Fuck
Aaron Rodgers.
I wonder if Zimmer was like just kicking back with his hungry man heat up meal. Feed up on it. Yeah. I was figuring he might be watching. He's finally getting to Breaking Bad. Like he's finally able to sit down and start watching that.
Every time he tells someone about it, he starts off with "Don't spoil it for me."
Yeah. Don't spoil it.
No spoilers.
It's been out for 15 years, dude.
He's got that lazy boy from 1981 that still works. He's got the cup holder, and he's just sitting down there. And then he gets the call from Stephen Jones.
And he's like, heck.
He's like, help us out, coach, real quick, man.
Yeah.
Else wants to take this job.
We need you for 1 year.
He's like,
I'm watching Breaking Bad. Don't spoil it for me. What do you want to talk about?
No, heck, pauses it. It can wait. Breaking Bad can wait 1 more year.
Yeah.
About season 3.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
So
okay.
This is weird because I thought the last times we did this, the top 10, it was 5 storylines for the Cowboys and 5 storylines for the Niners, but we're doing it different this time, which is I kind of like it.
I might have picked up the wrong.
You did because
10 storylines.
The 10 ones that we did before were on DallasCowboys.com.
Well, you know what? This is a Dallas Cowboys show.
Yep.
Nate can sit there.
Yep.
He can swallow it and he can just handle it. Okay.
I was gonna say, Nate, don't worry. The first 5 are Cowboys, and then the next 5 are San Francisco 49ers, and then 6 popped up, and I was like, okay, maybe we're doing something.
There's nothing you get. We're sitting here. We're I don't know, an hour into the show. Anything you guys are saying about the Cowboys is pretty much the same for the fucking 49ers.
You know what? We could just AI out
it doesn't fucking
Cowboys.
matter.
I was going to say, Nate, I'd want to hear more about the 49ers, but
no, you don't.
Not all your players are out, so I don't really give a shit about.
Well, and just to add even more mixology to this, we have Pack Attack coming in here with a $5 super chat saying, just dropping a what's up, love y'all's content. So just for reference, Pack Attack, he hops in here very frequently, more frequently than Cowboy fans, to check in our show. And he's a Packers fan. He obviously started following us after they kicked our ass last season. So,
but he's been a good guy, and we appreciate him. And we love when rival fans come in here in studio, Nate.
Yeah.
And as well as on chat. But number 5 here, and I think.
Well, what about Sunday when there's a hostile takeover in this very room?
Yeah, good luck. Good luck trying to get the Millennium Falcon up and running. Okay, that's all I gotta say to you, Nate.
Brother Adrian is a technical wizard.
No, won't happen.
No, that's true. Nothing's gonna
Hey, if you flip through this book, you'll find the password, but you gotta look for the page.
We can't even make it in the front door. Who are we kidding?
Here's the one of the bigger issues I think that we've noticed here, and I'll just read the headline, and if anyone else wants to read the paragraph, go for it. But can the defense, the Dallas Cowboys defense, please get a turnover? Jeez, Alec, come on. We are -6.
Wow.
-6, and opponents have 44 turnovers. Is that true? That's not true.
No, that can't.
Oh, that's in total, all of them combined. So. Like who we've played.
Yeah, all their turnover.
Yeah, so that number doesn't matter. But we've had 9 fumbles, 4 losses, and then where's our interceptions?
This year? You've had 9 fumbles this year?
And 7.
7
interceptions, yeah.
Holy Christ.
9 fumbles, 4 of them were lost.
Holy fuck.
So anybody want to take this? Can the Cowboys
It's actually 11 turnovers.
We don't have to read it. We don't even have to read it.
That's on offense.
The defense can't get turnovers. We've watched this in past years, the last 3 seasons, especially. The defense was getting interceptions. The defense was getting takeaways. Deron Bland by Thanksgiving last year had 6 or 5 returned for touchdowns. So that's non-existent in the Cowboys defense right now. You're at that one point. What was it against the Steelers? Malik Hooker dropped an easy interception. Yep. There was a fumble that the Cowboys missed getting. But every time that the Cowboys are up, they don't recover their own fumbles, minus the Steelers game when Dak Prescott got the fumble. But the defense isn't taking the ball away. They're not knocking out the ball. They're not taking the opportunities. You saw Overshown drop one. It's like when you get that chance to get that interception, which might happen once a game if you're lucky, you have to come up and grab it.
Exactly.
What do we got next on there?
Oh God.
Hey, AJ, go ahead, try it.
Okay,
try
the
read it.
McCarthenheimer adjustment.
Hey, not bad. Okay.
You did it.
Before their bye week last year, the Cowboys offense scored 20 or less in 3 of their last 4 games. The offense was in disarray as it looked as if Mike McCarthy and Brian Schottenheimer's more conservative approach was a huge failure for the offense. But as if a switch just suddenly flipped, the offense proceeded to score more than 20 points in 7 straight games, 6 of which were at least 30 points and 4 with at least 40 points. So they flipped the switch. The offense came to life, and the Cowboys won 6 of their next 7 games. Many hope this bye week serves as another fix-it moment, and the coaching staff can get the team's offense talent to start playing to their ability. I mean, that's great and all, but I don't see the same ability here. Like, I think Tony Pollard played a lot into the Cowboys being able to just have a running back threat, and that allowed the passing. That allowed CeeDee to start turning it on. Now, remember, when was it? Week 4 or 5 or 6 that CeeDee started to turn it on, like he had a last season.
It was after the bye.
It was after the bye?
Yeah, it was like I think it was week 7.
Well, let's hope for that same type of thing. I don't feel it this year. I don't know why I felt it last year.
Well, because the Cowboys after the bye week had a winning record. They were 4-2, I want to say.
Right.
Or at least they had lost to before the bye week. They had lost to the San Francisco 49ers and the Arizona Cardinals. So and they had some pretty good beat ups of the Giants and the Jets. So we were all feeling still pretty optimistic. You didn't have the 2 blowout games. You only had the 1 blowout game to the Arizona Cardinals. And if you look at that compared to this year, the Arizona Cardinal game wasn't even really a blowout compared to the Saints and the Lions that we've seen this year. So I think that's maybe more why you're feeling a little bit down and didn't feel like last year was as big as a letdown.
Well, I think that also ties into this next point. We can just run it together. Is there's got to be more than just CeeDee, and we've talked
Well,
about that.
Tuck
We've
brought
touched
that
on
up.
yeah.
Tuck brought that up earlier.
Yeah. So that was like a number that should have been number one, honestly,
Right.
because we talked about how offense needs to be putting up. We've said it countless weeks. Like when we come into the show, when we come into the Wednesday night main event, looking at the Sunday's game, it's like, well, what do the Cowboys need to do this Sunday? Fucking score. They need to score outside of Brandon Aubrey, and that's the offense. So that again, when we say there has to be more than CeeDee Lamb, 7 and 8 here is a no-brainer. You have to look at not only your receivers, but where the heck is our running game? Like the running game is non-existent. I actually maybe even segueing into number 8. Are you I mean, we're all fans of Zeke, but why isn't Dalvin Cook being played right now? Like, why are we not doing anything else?
He's
Why are
on
we
your
not just giving?
Well, practice roster.
Practice
Really?
squad.
Holy fuck.
Or why aren't we giving a predominant amount of our reps to Rico Dowdle? I know they maybe give Rico a little bit more touches. They go back to Zeke because he complains. Like we just have to, like, why are we so inconsistent on our running game right now?
Because our running game has no identity. We don't know what we want to be. I think that's the biggest problem, right? Because I think we brought Zeke back to be a power rusher, and I know, right? The hot topic button is Rico versus Zeke, but let's be honest. I mean, week 1 when Zeke got normal amount of carries, he had 60 yards and a touchdown. But it's like then he went to like the 4th person to touch the ball. So what happened? Like there's these inconsistencies. So I'm not sure. I personally believe what's going on with our run game. There's a tug of war between Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy. Jerry probably wants it to be Zeke. Mike McCarthy probably wants it to be Rico. And I think that what happened was last game was like, okay, you want Zeke? Here have it, bro. And so, okay, this is what you get, right? So I just feel like Zeke is not being used in the proper capacity. Rico's not being used in the proper capacity. And I feel like both don't bring fear to anybody. You know, it's not like, I know this whole team Rico versus Zeke thing. I was team Braylon Allen. I was, did like this, but being what we're stuck with, I don't see why you don't give Dalvin Cook a chance, because you might have to make a trade for a running back, but don't you want to see if that's the case first? Just having a veteran guy like Dalvin Cook, who's an outside zone runner, a guy that can catch the ball at the backfield. Maybe he's not the guy he was in his prime, but he's still a threat. Why don't you have him elevated? What good is he going to do us on our practice squad going into week 8? I don't understand it.
I think that's interesting, because that's exactly what I was thinking last game was, if they just reversed, I think was it the first or second or maybe both of those drives, if they reversed the plays that they put in Dowdle in, that they put Zeke in and put Dowdle in instead, and then put Zeke in instead of Dowdle, I felt like that would have been, that's how you should use these running backs. It's almost like they just reversed.
It's random.
Yeah.
It's just on the sideline. They're just flipping something to see what running back's going.
Right. Looks like you're going in, Zeke.
It feels like that. Like it honestly does.
It's a two-headed Jerry Jones coin.
It feels a little bit random, because there has been times where I'm like, man, Zeke hasn't been in for like the whole first quarter.
Yeah,
and then last week,
second game, he got like 4 carries.
Yeah,
like,
so it's
it's just like, okay, so I don't know. I understand.
The running game's a fucking gong show, is what it is. It's a
do you
gong
guys have
show.
a fullback on your roster?
Yeah, Hunter Lepke, probably a guy that should be getting more carries.
Right, should be getting more carries as well.
At least blocking.
Yeah, like Hunter Lepke's a can fan fave for sure.
That decision making makes sense, and say, I don't know, up to maybe the 4th week even of the NFL season. But after that, I think we should start to see some things start to settle, or it's a like complementary split.
But there it isn't though. Like,
and it's not
what's that fall back on?
But it's not even going with the hot hand, where we have seen that with teams in the past, where it's like, yeah, we're gonna give, and if this guy starts running really well, he's gonna get the ball more. Well, it's not like we're seeing that.
Well, no, because after the Steelers game, Rico Dowdle had his best game, sans that fumble at the end of the game. But he had his best game on the ending on
where
the last
he
drive.
Shouldn't have even been running the ball.
Yeah, at the end,
that should have been Zeke, right? So
right, exactly. The one play that shouldn't have been Dowdle on that end drive should have been Zeke. But prior to that, Dowdle was having a very good final drive, and you're like, okay, going into this Lions game, you're going to get a nice dose of Dowdle at the start of the game, and you didn't see it at all. So it's
sit him. So I don't care. He's getting big head. He's getting a big head on him.
So you're saying by week 4 you shouldn't see it, but that all falls back to something that we talked about earlier, the coaching. And the coaching right now is just a fucking mess.
Well, looking at not knowing the identity of your running game is a really good way of putting it, I think.
Yeah.
Second last one here before we get onto our bold and score predictions.
We're not going to do, I guess we don't got time to do the, I thought we always do NFL.com.
Oh, power rankings? Yeah,
Power rankings. We got to do power
Gotta do
rankings.
power
We'll do that too.
rankings.
Sorry. It's got to be Guyton's job again. The offensive line has been a work in progress this season with 2 rookies taking over starting jobs. We knew there would be hiccups along the way. Rookie left tackle Tyler Guyton hurt his knee against the Steelers and should be getting close to returning, while Tyler Smith has handled the left tackle job well, and TJ Bass has been solid playing left guard. Guyton needs to get back to his spot when he's healthy, when his health allows. Getting these reps in is extremely important, blah, blah, blah. Yes, we know that, but is he going to be playing? I don't think so. Is he back this week?
Sounds like it.
I think so.
Sounds like it.
What's your thought on Guyton being out there? I mean,
more importantly, just an offensive line discussion.
Yeah. So if we look at the offensive line coming out of that Pittsburgh game, we were all pretty like, whoa, the adjustments they made were kind of working. I think we got something here. And then they try it in the Lions and we get obliterated. In terms of Tyler Guyton being out there on the island on his own, I mean, I know Ant's going to be a big advocate saying, we drafted him in the first round, get that motherfucker out there and make sure he plays.
Yep.
Is exactly, yeah. We drafted this guy in the first round, get him out there. He's definitely had a bad, I wouldn't say bad luck draw, but he's definitely gone through the ringer over his first few games, lining up against a bunch of very formidable opponents. But what's your thoughts around Tyler Guyton, Tuck, in terms of, is he that guy at left tackle? I mean, is he a guy in 3 years from now, or can we see some improvement on him this season?
Yeah, I feel like Tyler Guyton is kind of, Cowboys fans don't want to hear it. He's what I thought he was coming out of the draft. He's going to be a phenomenal talent in the future. I just didn't think that he was going to have that short learning curve like Tyler Smith had, because Tyler Guyton was a guy who played tight end, and then he at TCU, and then he played right tackle 100% of the time at OU. And then you want to kick him over to the left side at the NFL level, there was going to be a learning curve. So to toss him out there with no insurance policy of a Tyron Smith or any other veteran guy, which is, I don't know, it's just reckless when it comes to the Cowboys. So I feel like there's going to be some struggles, not only with him, but also with Cooper Beebe. There, you have not only have 2 rookies on your offensive line, you have 2 rookies playing a position that they never played ever in their life.
Yeah.
Like it's just, come on, like it just doesn't make sense to me. So I think Tyler Guyton is going to be phenomenal. It's just not going to be this year. That's why I kind of felt like the pick was a future pick. It wasn't really going to help us this season. There's no way you can convince me, I don't care who you are, that he was going to be an instant upgrade over Tyron Smith. Like it just wasn't going to happen. So me personally, I would leave Tyler Smith at left tackle, and TJ Bass at left guard. I know it's the whole conversation piece, but it's really unfair to Tyler Smith to be guard tackle one day, guard tackle one day. So, but I think the biggest problem is not even our rookies. It's our right side. Our right side.
Terrence Steele's a garbage.
And Terrence Steele, and also
so bad.
Zach Martin struggled. I mean, Zach Martin got whooped versus Detroit. So it's like, it's just been bad all across the offensive line front. So who can you really trust? And it's like, I don't know. So
would you ever kick Guyton over to right tackle and have Terrence Steele sit a bit and keep the left side the way that you just said it?
I would consider it. So if it's me, this is my idea.
Yeah, hey, you're GM right now. GM Tuck, what do you got?
GM Jtuck, I will have Tyler Smith at left tackle. I'm putting Cooper Beebe at left guard. I'm putting Brock Hoffman back at center. And then I'm going with Zach Martin, of course, and then Terrence or Tyler at right tackle and let them figure it out. That's how I go about things. Because I feel like the one thing about Cooper Beebe, he's phenomenal, but he's playing a new position, and the center is the brain trust of your offensive line. There's a lot of different thinking. And when you watch our offensive line, where are they getting their ass beat by? It's the twist, it's the stunts, it's the communication. Like they're just not in sync right now. So at least Brock Hoffman's a guy that's played that position that can communicate, and that allows Cooper Beebe just to go be a physical specimen, move the trenches, and be next side of Tyler Smith. That would be my approach. But I doubt the Cowboys would do that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they don't want to claim that they were wrong with.
Saying that they're wrong with the draft pick. Absolutely not.
Well, you know what the funniest thing is? How many games has Tyron Smith missed with the Jets this year? 0.
Right.
He's played 7 games. Everyone was so worried about him being hurt. It's like just give him a game incentive based contract. Just do that, and we still wouldn't.
And then we wouldn't be watching we wouldn't be watching
same
shots of him in his gear fully on the sidelines.
We'd be in the same situation that we're in right now. Tyler Guyton got hurt. Yes, tackles get hurt. Offensive linemen get hurt. but you still would have had Tyron Smith at left tackle. You could have got a very good deal. He would have taken a hometown discount, 100%. That's the type of guy he is. And you could have drafted a different position at, 24? Or you could have still got BB and taken a different position at 29.
Could have taken a tight end because your team needs a fucking tight end.
We need a lot of things, but the Tyler Guyton pick, I'm okay with it. I still think he needs to play. Yeah, he's going to get burned a little bit, and he's going to hopefully be good down the line. I just think, like Tuck said, I was always a big Tyron Smith fan, and I think they could have worked that out and made the line stronger in a different way.
Well, I'll tell you this, in my Madden franchise in 2026 or 2025, sorry, Tyler Smith is still playing. So
Tyron Smith.
Tyron Smith.
And Tyler Smith, both playing.
Final point here is just as the time is now, and I mean, the only question I think that this brings up without even reading, I'm going to disrespect his article by not even reading the paragraph, is
they have to win.
We did touch on it, so apologize if we're just reiterating what was said previously, but Cowboys go out and lose this game on Sunday. What's that mean? Is it this time is now? Is this game such an a pivotal point, or is it how they lose? Maybe, you know, is it black and white in the loss-win column, or is there some shades of gray there for you?
Yeah, there's no moral victories with this game, especially with the 49ers being injured the way they are. Like it's just win, or you know, it's going to be a long season, y'all. Like I don't, you know, it would have to be something crazy, like, yo, we really won that game, but we got robbed or something. Okay, maybe I'll kind of give them a little grace there. But let's say, for instance, we battle back and forth and they drive on this last second, Purdy leads them down to a game-winning field goal. I'm not going to give them no grace, right? Because you have this team. And let's be honest, y'all. Like, let's just talk as Cowboys fans.
And Niner fan.
And a Niner fan. And a Niner fan. If the Giants had a quarterback with half a pulse, we would have probably lost the Giants. You know, we just got lucky. Like Malik Neighbors dropped the ball, and, you know, hope he's good with the concussion and everything, but he just dropped the ball. So it shows like we really have just beat the Steelers and I would say the Browns. Like we haven't beaten even the bad teams the way we should be beating the bad teams. So it's like the Cowboys really need to show and prove that, yo, we are not the doormat of the NFL. And right now, teams don't respect you. You know, teams like I wouldn't even do you guys in Madden and attempt to run the ball 45 times on you. Like that's just the disrespect that some of these teams are having. Line up left tackles at wide receiver. Like it's just
multiple times.
Yeah, multiple times. You know, like it was just bad. So it's like it's Cowboys have to fight. There's no excuses this week, and especially like bad practices and stuff. Like, nah, go get the job done. I don't want to hear nothing this week. Especially you're on Twitter banging with Cowboys fans about your practice facilities and stuff. Like, hell no, bro.
Nate, if the Cowboys or if the Niners lose, but lose in tight fashion, like a close game, are you hanging them up? 3-5.
Ah, man,
that's a death sentence. 3-5.
3-5
in a division that, like, you got Seattle who's doing all right.
In a division that you've got to at least be 9-8
to get a possible wild card.
Yeah, like it's pretty tough. I'm glad that we're going on the bye after this game because we have a lot of injuries, but I don't know. I've never been a Kyle Shanahan guy, so maybe he gets hit by a car.
Okay.
So okay.
Or what are they? What are they?
Hang on a sec.
A trolley? What are they? A trolley?
Actually, you know what? I'm taking that back because I'm not predicting injuries.
I just gonna say,
I'm taking that back.
Nate, when he comes on the show,
I'm taking
he
it back.
predicts player injuries like you have no idea.
Could you imagine Kyle Shanahan got hit by a car?
I said the loud part quiet and the quiet part loud.
That's right.
That one. I apologize.
But there is if it doesn't happen in 3 days, you're in the clear.
Yeah, that's right. So to answer your question, yeah, we're pretty much fucked this year.
If you guys lose.
Yeah,
but the Niners are also one of those sneaky teams that
they have a tough schedule. If
you guys can somehow get into the postseason and get back there, like get to the postseason with Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, obviously Ayuk's gone, but you get those two pieces back.
So that's the big difference. I guess I say throw in the towel. I forgot about Christian McCaffrey because I don't even know where he is.
Yeah.
That's the factor. We could be 3-5 and get McCaffrey back and run off.
Exactly.
So that I forgot about McCaffrey. I forgot he even played football anymore. So it depends on McCaffrey again, I guess.
Okay, guys, we're gonna do power rankings here. What we usually do is we just guess. We try to just guess what the team's at. So Nate Dogg, where do you think the Niners, after their terrible loss to the San Francisco or to the Kansas City Chiefs, where are they hitting?
12.
12th. Okay. Tuck, what do you got?
Well, and hey, Tuck, if you already looked at the power rankings, then maybe don't spoiler alert. Okay, good.
No, just fake it.
For the Niners, I would say 14.
And then Cowboys?
I'm going to say Cowboys are like 13 or 11.
13 or no, we get one, Nate.
One?
You're not ad.
Yeah, what the fuck, Nate?
Is that your thing?
No, ad says like 4 picks usually.
I mean,
We're doing one.
allegedly.
I'm going to go. They had the bye week. I'm going to say they're about 14th.
I think you guys are giving us some credit. Tuck, what
I'm
do you
say 26.
Holy shit.
Wow.
I think we're
I was going to say 32nd. You guys are going to beat me up. So I'm going to just go with 14th.
one of us is gonna get something.
one.
I'm gonna lead out. Niners are at 15, Cowboys at 18.
Wow.
Okay, I'll go Niners at 14.
Nate's or I think Tuck said 14 for the Niners.
Oh, okay.
Well, we can't, and this is the problem too.
16.
When you're last pick, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't
Well,
take
and
this.
then Cowboys.
Niners 16, Cowboys 19.
Okay.
Oh shit. Okay, so I guess I'm nine nerds are going to be 17, and the Cowboys are going to be 21.
Okay.
Wow.
I got to remember what my numbers were.
Yeah, guess
15
what?
and 18.
And this is the other problem. We don't know what we picked.
Can do 23. Can do 23. Switch to 23.
Yeah,
Okay,
23, 23,
23.
yeah.
23.
So Casey, and he does this to his title sometimes. This is Ed Home or whatever his name is.
Not
Eric Ed Home.
Yeah, not eat me out, Eamon.
Not eat me out even. Then we got the Baltimore Ravens, who I think should be the true number 1, but that's just me.
Yeah, the Ravens are scary. Lions are going to be 3.
Detroit Lions 3, very
Yep.
good Anth. Vikings 4.
Yeah.
Sorry, you
well,
got
and then that
that.
was man, the Vikings Lions game was insane, and
Yeah, it was.
the Vikings deserve to be at 4, 100%.
Then we got the Bills at 5. Surprisingly, I don't know.
I never agree with the Bills being high.
They do have Amari Cooper now, but
Yeah, and he woke up.
Kinda
Keon Coleman, the rookie, had a good game. Like he started to get
Yeah,
some.
breakout game for him.
Well, yeah, because now no one's worried about him. They're worried about Mari Cooper. He's going to eat. Keon Coleman's going to keep eating.
Josh Allen loves throwing just heartbreak interceptions. He fucking loves it.
Packers at 6. Hate to see it. But
Yeah, but I think that's good too. I think the Packers deserve it, especially.
Jordan Love's fucking hot right now.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, and the Dallas Cowboys 2023 are up at number 7 right there.
Yeah, the Washington Commanders and Dan Quinn are at 5 and 2 at 7.
I mean,
Makes
who would have
sense.
thought?
Hey,
Who would've
but
thought?
Jaden Daniels hurt. Who knows what happens with that? Marcus Mariota came in, still beat the Panthers. The Texans down 4 spots to 8.
Yep.
Then the Steelers, at number 9. Then we got the crappy Eagles.
Eagles.
I'm just gonna say this right now. We're gonna lose. Mike Tomlin's my favorite guy in the NFL.
Omar Epps.
Yeah.
Omar, Tomlin's. I love Tomlin. I like the Steelers. Steelers have a good organization. Chicago Bears at 11.
4 and 2. Jeepers.
4 and 2
okay,
Bears.
so now we're
They
getting
moved up the
There
Bears.
you go.
The Bears moved up 2 spots on their bye week.
None
Two
of our
spots on their
teams.
bye week. That's how you do it, right?
None of our teams are better than the fucking Broncos. Just hold that in for a moment. Just fucking hold that in. The
Why-
Broncos.
Why'd you have to make things real, Nate?
Because
Bucks are up there at 4 and 3. Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
They dropped
So-
4 spots.
So
dropped 4 spots.
now we're starting to get into our territories of what we picked.
Yeah.
Seahawks 14.
Fuck you.
I think I went. Okay,
the
I'm out.
Falcons 15. Okay, here we go.
Fuck the
Tuck might be
Seahawks.
right.
San
Okay,
Fran at
there we go.
16.
Someone at 16.
Someone had 16.
Who had 16?
One of you guys did.
It was
I
Ad.
might have-
Sorry, AJ.
I did. I
AJ
said
did.
16.
Did you write 'em
I
down?
said 16. I did.
No, he wrote
I
his
wrote
down.
mine down.
He
I
wrote
couldn't
his
write
down.
everyone's down.
Okay, let me
That
read
was
one
too slow.
thing about the
Okay.
San Francisco 49ers on this show. The difference right now between the Chiefs and 49ers was made clear on Sunday. The Chiefs can survive a poor production game from their quarterback against a quality foe. The 49ers seemingly cannot. Not having Deebo Samuel due to an illness and losing Brandon Ayuk to a season-ending knee injury were 2 big blows, along with all other injuries piling up. But no matter who is or isn't out there, the Niners can't have too many more 3-pick games from Brock Purdy
Yep.
and expect to win. They were deficient in all 3 phases of the game, like Nate Dogg said, even with respectable defensive performance against the Chiefs for much of the day.
Except for
This game
tackling.
ultimately won't decide their season, as frustrating as losing again to the Chiefs must be. But the Niners dip below 500 and face a win or else game against the Dallas Cowboys
Yeah.
before the bye mercifully comes, Nate Dogg.
I will say this too. I've never seen a team need a player more than the 49ers need Dre Greenlaw. I mean,
Oh, yeah. Drake Green.
changed the Super Bowl when he went out.
Yeah.
And now this season, like Fred Warner's having to do a lot more than he needs to, or than I guess he's capable, maybe.
At least he got hurt really valiantly.
Yep, trying to get on the field.
Just running out onto the field.
Well, you also said that Greenlaw and Warner were like that 1-2 punch. Like they need each other. They complement each other.
They do. And, and Dre Greenlaw eats raccoons.
And he eats raccoons.
Chargers at 17. Colts at 18.
This is our Colts. This is our
Cowboys at 18. I got it. I got both of them right.
You cut it. You cheat. Hey,
you cheated.
Would never cheat.
Son of a bitch.
Would never feel good about cheating and winning.
Son of a bitch.
That's just called knowing Ed at home.
That's just called the intuition.
That's performance-enhancing substances right there.
But guess what? You don't get anything. But maybe you should read since you're the winner.
That's not a paragraph. That's a block of text.
That's too much. Okay. And then after this, we'll get into score prediction, bold predictions.
Real quick, we'll hit them. We'll hit them real quick.
As the Cowboys prepare to travel west to face the desperate 49ers, a team that
very desperate,
thoroughly demolished Dallas with both teams close to full strength a year ago, it's fair to ask what they can hang their hats onto right now. The run game has been atrocious. The defense underachieved even before a rash of injuries gutted the depth chart. And fucking say more, buddy. Say more. And the units remain a lesser group. And the unit remains a lesser group until proven otherwise. A once strong offensive line has been scuttling a bit, some personal shuffling. Even Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, two of the surer things on the roster, haven't reached anything close to peak performance, plagued by missed connections and a lack of cohesion. He fucking used a dictionary when he was writing this.
He wrote scuttling. He put scuttling in there.
No. He just chat GPT'd it. That's all right.
Scuttling.
Farming it in.
The Cowboys are catching the 49ers at a good time with all the San Francisco injuries and back-to-back home losses, not to mention Dallas is somehow 3-0 on the road, but the boys must pick themselves up after their worst showing in a few years before the bye and find a way to give their best performance of the season.
Hey, you hear that, Nate?
Mm-hmm.
That's coming. That's because we them boys, bro.
We them boys, Nate. We them boys. Okay, who wants to kick off their score prediction? Do we want to do score prediction for everyone and then bolds, or score and bolds?
Do scores. You want both? You want both? I'm indifferent.
Okay, well, whoever leads off, pick it. But let's one of us lead off, giving Jtuck a little bit of an idea.
Okay, I'll dive in. I'll dive in off the 10-meter board. Let's do it. 10 meters. What's that in feet? 33 feet or something like that. I'll jump off that big diving board. I'm gonna lead out.
Belly flopping for sure.
I'm belly flopping. I'm not diving. Because we're gonna be live. I got to pick a Cowboys win. I'm not picking a Cowboys win. I think it's gonna be a gross game, a high scoring game.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Cowboys 37.
That's a lot of Aubrey kicks.
11.
Hey,
that's 11 Aubrey kicks and 2 safeties.
No. But listen,
there we go.
Because Brandon Aubrey's at jury duty, Mike McCarthy, once he gets over the 50, he's not going to play conservative. So now Dak Prescott's going to be unleashed, and they're actually going to try to go for it.
Okay, so 37 points Cowboys and Niners 36. I don't know how you get 36, but there's
amazing.
a 36 is a weird score, but there's a way they don't get a 2-point to try to tie it. So 37-36 Cowboys, and my bold prediction, Deron Bland's back in the motherfucking house. He's going to get 2 interceptions, 1 brought back for a touchdown.
Wow.
Stick that in your fucking weed pipe.
Yeah, fuck
Nate
you,
dog.
fuck you, Nate.
That's my boldie.
Love it.
Goldie in my.
I bet you
score.
there's never been a 37-36 game.
That's a weird score. I don't know why I said. I don't know why I said.
What do they call it? Scoregami?
I don't know why I said 36. 36
could be a
is weird.
scoregami.
Yeah.
Now, for a reference, if I would have said that score, Anth would have eaten me alive. I would have
called you stupid.
Yeah, you would have called me stupid. I would have been. You would have made me feel small.
He was just pulling from the ether.
He was pulling from the ether. AJ, you got one?
Yeah, I got one. I'm not as hopeful as the scoring. I have a hard time seeing the Cowboys score,
12 points.
19 points. But I got to give it to the boys. I'm going to go, oh, man. Okay. 20. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game. 22-17 Cowboys.
Oh.
What, that was exactly what you wanted?
It's close.
And then I'm also going to 20-17 Cowboys. for a bold prediction, I'm a little bit stuck here. But I will say this. I think I went running back last week, so I'm going to go no, I'll go running back this week. I got to say, man, Rico Dowdle is going to have 100 yards.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's bold.
And 2 touchdowns, 1 receiving, 1 rushing. Now that should be bold.
That's bold.
I mean,
that's fucking bold.
Okay, Jtuck, what do you got? Score prediction, bold prediction.
Is Deron Bland playing or no?
Yeah.
Eric Kendrick's playing.
Yep.
And Micah's playing?
No, I'm going to say Micah, no.
Okay. If you give me Deron Bland, that kind of slights things in our favor, and I'm going to go with the Cowboys 21-17.
That'll be a good game.
If Deron Bland isn't playing, then I'm going to go with the 49ers, and I'm going to go 24-20.
I like that you gave us. I do like that.
We accept it.
Yeah, Deron Bland's a big piece. I mean, just having him out there, because like I said, with these corners, if you're not getting pressure, can't stop the run, you have no corners. Like, I feel like Deron Bland can definitely change things. So I'm gonna go with the Cowboys to win if Bland is playing.
I hope he's playing now.
And if not, then 49ers got it. And do you have
Pack it up, draft content on Monday, y'all.
Yeah, totally.
Way too early mock draft by the Cowboys.
Now, Jtuck, you got to make a bold prediction here, and it's got to be a little bit like it's not something that you would bet on.
Yeah, not something that you're trying to hit.
It's like something that you could see, let's say a 25-30% chance of happening, and it could go for either side. We always pick Cowboys, but you could also we always forget about picking the other side.
Brock Purdy 5 interceptions.
Right, something like that.
Fuck you. Possible, though.
Super bold. I mean, super bold.
Well, just bold,
yeah.
but
just bold. I'm gonna go with Rico Dowdle gets over 100 yards rushing.
Okay, we're in the same boat.
Yeah.
And you know what? Typically, that may not be bold on another team, but on this team,
right? That's what I said. That 100 yards, like that's it. I'm like, bro, like that. I mean,
it's breaking the internet. Nate Dogg, score prediction, and this is good. I like that we're going to get a score prediction.
I'll go bold. I'll go bolder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Bring it back.
Bolder. Let's
running
do
it
this.
back, y'all.
Terrence Steele will not allow 1 sack.
Okay, well now you're being crazy.
Wow.
all right, Tuck. Now you're pushing it, bro. All right.
Whoa. Someone obviously doesn't know Cowboys content.
Question, Tuck. Are you going to parlay those? Do they have to? Do you need Rico 100 and the no sack?
I wouldn't parlay that, man. Maybe like plus like 8,000 for that.
Yeah,
one.
You know what? We're going to allow, because we're allowing 2 scores, we're also allowing two bolds.
I like it. Nate Dogg, what do you got from the other side?
All right, so the score.
The outside of himself.
17-14 49ers in a dirty fucking game.
That's dirty.
17-14 49ers. My bold prediction is Alex reaches vape 12.
Wow.
And boots on the ground has to carry him out of the fucking stadium.
I think that's the least bold prediction we've had of the night.
That's a fact. You're just spitting facts
It's
now.
facts there. Bold prediction. I think that my man Jordan Mason,
Jason Mason.
Jason Mason gets 150 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Wow.
It could happen. That guys,
12 carries.
On 12 carries?
Oh my goodness.
That would be insane.
You didn't have to add that extra.
I like
douche,
it though.
but-
We'll still give Nate the win we'll still give you the bold prediction if he gets 150 plus 3 touchdowns, because that's insane. But it could happen. I could see the Cowboys giving up 150 yards and 3 touchdowns to a running back, especially the San Francisco 49ers.
An ad.
Okay, so I'm going to tie my score prediction, bold prediction together.
Oh,
I like it. This is what happens when you get some time.
So I'm going to go 20, because Tuck took my score, so I'm going to go 26-17. That's okay. This is what happens. If you don't go first, someone's going to jack your
if you
score.
ain't first, you're last.
Yeah, if you don't go first, you go last.
Yeah, so 26-17 Cowboys. Brandon Aubrey is going to kick 4 field goals, and CeeDee Lamb's going to get 2 touchdowns.
400 field goals.
400 field goals.
So four field goals, 2 CeeDee Lamb touchdowns.
That gives me my 26 score. And I'm not counting the point afters, but yes, we're kind of Brandon Aubrey's
CeeDee with the TD,
baby. 2
baby.
CeeDee Lamb touchdowns. I'm not going to go yardage. I just think.
So how many point afters would Brandon Aubrey need?
He needs 2.
Okay, well, you added it in.
Yeah.
Added in, add the point and 2 point after kick.
Somebody spent the workday doing that.
How funny it would be if Ad got it and then Brandon Aubrey missed one of the point afters.
Oh my goodness.
He had to go to jury duty.
Yeah, I think we nailed it. This was a good ass episode. We had 2 great guests. We had Nate Dogg, who traveled up to hang out with us in studio, and then we had Jtuck, who was kind enough to hop in with us. Jtuck, before we bounce out with you, where can people find you? What do you got going on, man?
Yeah, my guys, thanks for having me. Always fun.
Nice to meet you, Jtuck.
Next time, I'm about to be prepared, man, so I can actually crack something besides some water, man. But yeah, thanks for having me on. You can find me on all social media platforms at Jtuck151. That's Twitter, Instagram, and also TikTok now. My YouTube channel, CFO Sports. We do a lot of Dallas Cowboys content. We do a lot of NFL draft content. Just talk a lot of football with context. So if you like film studies, just having fun, man. That's what we do over there. We have some live shows. You can also find me with Des Bryant on Xpicks. We are launching his YouTube channel. I'm actually texting him right now to try and get that fired up. So Cowboys Nation, definitely, pay attention to that because we got some big news coming up, some big players coming by. You definitely guys want to get that content. So once again, my guys, thanks for having me. I appreciate it, man. When next time you guys going to be in Dallas?
Thanksgiving.
I won't be here that game.
We're gonna be rocking down.
It was just the Giants, man. I'm just like,
I know.
And
we've made it. We've kind of made it our
routine for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we just go down, and I've always been the guy that was like, man, I wish I had American Thanksgiving off because I just want to watch football all day.
Sure.
And now I go and watch football live, and it's amazing.
I think the week before is the Texans game.
It is.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is.
Doing that and. Also,
nice.
the Jake Paul fight, man. So I'm
nice.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good combo. Nate Dogg,
Yeah.
appreciate it. Give a shout out.
I don't have anyone to say hi to.
Okay, well, hey, I got a shout out. If you know any San Francisco 49ers fans out there, you go ahead and go tell them to go fuck themselves. We love you though, Nate. We love you, Nate.
Yeah, we love you, Nate. Thanks, Tuck.
Love you, chat. Thank you.
guys,
Nice
man.
to meet you, Tuck.
Boosh it out.